Good evening! I'm here to talk about the pros and cons of wearing a mask, especially now that the mask mandate in some places is lifting. Are you going to continue to wear masks after this? I am. To start with, I am very biased here because if you're new here, I have a condition called cold urticaria, which basically means that I'm allergic to cold. And when I breathe in cold air, I get wheezy, I get chest pain, my throat itches, and to combat this, as well as taking medication, I also wear a mask outside and inside because air conditioning is far too popular for my liking. So I am and always will be pro-mask. But here are some pros and cons of wearing masks if you are undecided or if you just want some solidarity if you're going to continue wearing them. So the first pro on my list is protecting others. We all know that wearing a mask can limit the spread of COVID-19 because you are covering your mouth and you are stopping all the particles from spraying everywhere when you talk. I don't just mean COVID though, I mean other viruses. This is where capitalism comes in a little bit, but if you are not spreading any germs, even the common cold, there are going to be less people taking time off because they think they might have COVID. It's something to consider. And that also includes people like me who are chronically ill and could be in danger if they got COVID. If you are in the vulnerable population, I'm sure you already know this, the anxiety of waking up feeling even a little bit run down right now is, if we could avoid that, that would be great. However, my first con is asthma, because some people with asthma struggle to breathe through a mask. It can be very difficult because asthma is a condition that affects your lungs and your breathing. Even without a mask, sometimes breathing can be difficult. And if you are struggling, why would you add more resistance to that? However, some people with asthma have found that wearing a mask has greatly improved their breathing because they are exposed less to triggers, so air pollution, especially in the fabric masks that come with a carbon filter, especially a replaceable one. It's filtering out more and more of the air pollution, so they find that they can breathe a little bit easier when they're outside because they're having their asthma attacks triggered less. And by things like pollen. Pollen is a key thing, and masks can help with that. Another pro here, while we're there, is smoke protection. So we saw in some of the wildfires when people were wearing masks to go outside because of all the smoke pollution in the air, even those with healthy lungs were finding that wearing their masks here was helpful. And I personally find it very helpful when walking past a group of smokers outside the front door to the hospital. Stop doing that. And while we're on the topic, one of my favourite pros is just allergy protection. People with hay fever are finding that when they wear the masks, their symptoms are not as bad, which might be a small step for some, but for some it means that they can just go outside, go to the shop when they need food, go to work without then suffering for hours afterwards. And any other environmental allergens, so for me with my dust allergy, if I'm in really dusty places, I will keep my mask on. So my face will hurt less, I can breathe a bit easier, I'm less sniffly, my mouth itches less. When my dust allergy first developed, I was sleeping on an incredibly dusty sofa and I actually slept in my mask because that was the only relief I could get. I took every antihistamine that I had on hand and that wasn't enough. As soon as I put the mask on, give or take 15-20 minutes, everything was fine and I went to sleep. However, one problem that I'm facing when everybody is wearing masks is I am deaf. Hello, there's a hearing aid. I rely a lot on lip reading to understand what's being said to me by other people, especially people that I'm not familiar with. Now, if they have their mouth covered, it's very difficult to lip read. We can fix this by wearing either clear face shields or the masks with the window in it, but for the vast majority of people they're not going to do that on the off chance that they meet a deaf person. So it has been a bit of a struggle, but I also have a video which I will link up here for 8 ways you can talk to a deaf person without having to pull down your mask and without having to sign. One surprising thing that I found when I first started wearing masks back in 2018 was if I was having a bad skin day, I could just cover it up. It didn't really matter. I have anxiety and I do this thing where I peel the skin on my lips. It's very, very cute. But if I've had a really bad day with that and my lips look atrocious, I can just hide it. It's not a problem. Nobody needs to know. But what masks can do in some people is if you are prone to acne or if you're prone to breakouts, if you're not looking after the skin under your mask, you can trigger an acne breakout or just a bad skin day itself. So it's a balance, and if you are particularly prone to sensitive skin, maybe wearing a mask all the time is not for you. I have another video that I'm going to link up here, and it's how I take care of my face when I am wearing masks all day. On the topic of hiding things we might not be secure about, it also is very helpful if you've just been to a restaurant and then you want to walk around and talk to people, or you just want to go home. If you have food in your teeth and you don't know about it, nobody will know if you're wearing a mask because they won't see it. It has been a perk that I have cashed in on more times than I am proud of. I think one of the worst things for me about wearing a mask is when it rains. So I've talked before about the one time I went out on my bike in a mask in the rain, and it was the least cute way to drown, but I would be very good in a waterboarding situation, because sometimes when you're out in the rain and you're breathing through the mask, you're also breathing in the rain. So if it's misty rain, that's the worst. Your mask gets wet and then you're breathing in through a wet mask, which makes it thicker somehow. So when you breathe in, it sucks to your face. It's just a lot harder to breathe through, and it gets very moist, and it's not my favourite. I wouldn't really recommend to a friend, to be honest. But that's why I bring spare masks pretty much everywhere I go, especially if I know it's going to rain. The next pro on my list, I don't know if I've already stated a biggest one, but this is a big one. You are protecting yourself from illness. Now, we've all seen the studies and we've all seen the controversy of like, well, masks, you know, viruses can sort of get through a mask a little bit, perhaps, depending on the mask. But what I found since wearing a mask in the past 2.5 years is I'm not touching things. So if I'm on the bus, I'm not touching the bell and then touching my face. I'm not picking something up off the floor and then touching my face. I'm giving myself that little extra bit of protection and that barrier so I have time to wash my hands first. Because we inadvertently touch our face so often throughout the day. We're not always aware of it, it just happens. And with a face mask on, you're not doing that so much, or there's just a layer of protection, so whatever you've got on your hands is not being put straight into your mouth. I have another video up here about do masks prevent illness, which I think will be very helpful if you want to know more about this. Right now, there are so many memes going around about masks, but my favourite is the one where somebody's wearing glasses, they're wearing perhaps hearing aids, they've got earrings in, they've got earphones, and then they've got the mask, and the ear has a little speech bubble that says, what, you want me to hold your bag too? And that is something that I struggle with wearing masks, is ear pain and just bulk around my ears. We can fix that. There are little ear ties that you can fasten the elastics to, and that ties around behind your head. There are head clips for that. There is all sorts of creative solutions, even a string of paper clips I've seen. You can work around that, but I found that the more you do it, the more you get used to it, the less it's going to hurt and the less it's going to feel like bulk. But something I don't think I will ever get over is the elastics getting caught in my horseshoe earrings and then pulling my hearing aids off the back of my ears. Thank goodness for ear molds. A real hidden perk of wearing a mask is being less susceptible to bad smells. Sometimes I've been out with friends who have not been wearing masks pre-COVID, and they would be commenting on like, oh, this smells funny, what's that smell? And I'm there just like, I don't smell anything. However, if the bad smell is coming from inside the house, you are stuck with it. Or if you eat a very strong mint, that's also stuck with you. I have once, you know those Treba extra strength mints. I have breathed that directly into my eyes, which was a fun experience for everyone involved. I have kind of mentioned this already, but only in an allergy sense. Wearing masks is just warmer, so winter. If you're covering your face, you're covering under your chin. It's like wearing a scarf but higher up. It's just very comfortable, and if you want to breathe in warm air, a mask is the way to do it. Doesn't really matter how cold it is outside, it just keeps a nice little pocket of warm on your face. It's great. One problem that got talked a lot about in this pandemic is the glasses fog, and I made this video up here about how to prevent fog. There are many ways to do it, and it's just simple maintenance at this point, and there is no excuse for this really being a con. And what you can also do is flick the elastic underneath the arm of your glasses, and that just gives you a little bit more stability in wearing all of the things on your face. Masks are pretty. Fight me on it, you won't win. Masks are pretty, or they at least can be pretty. I found that having this extra thing of fabric is a good canvas for self-expression. As you may have seen at the start of my video, I held up a small collection of masks that I have. I have a ridiculous amount by now. You can have just plain black, you can have red with flowers, you can have yellow with flowers, you can have this kind of art deco-y blue and gold kind of peacock thing. You can have anything on a face mask, and if that's not a canvas for self-expression, I don't know what is. You will find one that you find pretty. I've long said that if people want to wear masks just because they look pretty, that is absolutely fine by me. I have no judgment, I like it. We normalise masks that way, and I really enjoy seeing somebody with like a head-to-toe outfit with a matching fog mask. It's so good. More of this, please. Lastly, my final point is mental health. This can be a pro and a con, it depends what mental health condition you have. It can help people with mental health conditions, for example OCD, who may struggle with feeling uncomfortable around people, germs, the outdoors. They might have sensory issues around breathing in cold air. It can help you feel a little bit safer outside, but on the flip side, it can make you feel a little more claustrophobic. If you have anxiety about breathing, if you have any sort of trauma, having that restriction here might not feel too good for you. And especially if you have something like autism, it can be a sensory thing of having something touching your face and having to breathe through it. Both of these are considerations when it comes to wearing a mask post-pandemic. So those are my pros and cons of wearing a mask. If you have any more to add to that, let me know down in the comments below, and while you're there, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already for more cold urticaria, mask life, pride content for next month, and ring that notification bell so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Videos go up every Saturday at 6 PM UK time with at least one bonus video every single month. See ya!